Hey guys, so last week I kind of left you with a cliffhanger that will be happening pretty much every week until I'm done with my story. I just want to keep you guys interested, so I'll always leave off on kind of a what happens next note. So, just to let you know, now I was speaking to my mom and she said that I should probably have included this one thing about my family. So, the one detail that I left out was that I have never had a baby picture of me until just this year, actually. I found a baby picture through one of my family members, and it is the only baby picture I have of me. So I'm going to show you guys. Don't make fun of me. This is baby Samantha. I kind of censored out the other two people in the picture just for their personal um, privacy. I don't know whether they wanted to be on the internet or not. So, just out of respect for them, but that was me. And that is the end of my early childhood memories. So, we'll go into basically just the preteen years, a little bit before the preteen years of my adoption story. So, I think the one thing I can say about being a child um, within the ages of, 7 to 10 was really just the new life I was discovering that I was going to have living with this woman that, I had just learned about, and she is a traveler. That is what I remember thinking in the very beginning. She travels everywhere, and from her, I got so much culture and just everything changed. My perception of people and things and the way the world works and all of that, because I, like my birth family, had never been out of Bradenton. So I had never even been to, Fort Myers or anything like that. So it was really exciting when not only did I get to go around the state, but also being able to go to different states and even in some cases different countries. So that was, I think, the most exciting part about the initial process of being adopted. So we'll go into my preteen years. In my preteen years, I didn't have any contact with my birth mom. I only had contact with my siblings. So my sister was living with my nana, and something didn't work out there, and my sister came to live with us. And just because of the choices and the way that my sister's life played out, because she was not adopted like me, she just learned different things. And I mean, I can't blame her, and I know that now, but I didn't when I was younger. Um, it just, it wasn't a very good situation towards the end. It started out, she called us, me and my mom, and she said I need a place to live. And of course, my mom was more than willing to open up our door. She was my birth sister, so, she had no problem. And we did, and she had her little boy, and they lived with us. I'm not sure how long, but for quite a bit of time. And it was great in the beginning. And then just, I mean, my sister had been on her own for so long, that's really all she knew. So it wasn't normal for her to be in a family where you had to do chores or had to live up to somebody's expectations or had to keep a job or had to, do any of that. And I was. So, I would wake up, I'd do my chores if I had any, or if I needed to help my mom with anything. It was very because that's how I grew up. But she grew up so much different, and it just wasn't a good situation, and that happens sometimes. You can't really be discouraged. I was, and we didn't talk for quite a few years, I think 2 or 3, and that, I mean, it wasn't good, but that is life. Things are gonna happen that are great, and things are gonna happen that are not so great. So that was really the most significant thing that happened with me being adopted. Of course, my mom kept contact with my birth mom, and I knew about her here and there from my sister and stuff like that, but I had never had the initial contact. So it was really just me and my sister, and it didn't end so well. And it wasn't all her fault. It definitely wasn't. There was a lot of things that everyone could have done differently, which is often the case in a lot of family situations. So I don't blame her at all, but that is the most significant thing that happened in my preteen years. And then it just kind of, I was going to counseling and different things, therapy sessions and stuff like that, just because within that time I realized that I was getting a little depressed, and that wasn't totally not normal. I found out later on. My family is prone to depression and many other things, just a list, which I didn't find out until I was a lot older, so I really didn't know any better, so I just thought that counseling would be a good thing for me. So I went, and it helped me until it got to the point where I needed medication. That's a different story, but that is my preteen years, and I just want to give a little advice for this situation. I think the first thing I would say is, for adopted kids out there, you definitely have to realize that if you do have siblings, or if you meet your parents one day, or your niece, your nephews, your cousins, your grandchildren, anybody who wasn't adopted and you are, they have a different mindset because they didn't grow up the way you did. And in my situation, especially because our family was so dysfunctional, for me to be in a stable, straight and narrow, head on shoulders type of living, and they were not, it caused a bunch of different just problems because we didn't see eye to eye and we would just bump heads. So my biggest advice is just try to understand that they didn't have the same opportunities as you, and work with that. Really, really work with it. I know that a lot of adopted kids don't actually ever meet their birth parents. Even a lot of adults don't meet their birth parents either by choice or just because they can't find them or for whatever reason. So if you do find them, and I'll make a whole nother video about it, but if you do, definitely remember that they didn't grow up like you did, and you can't expect them to be the way you were if they weren't raised in the same manner. So that's my story for right now, and I will go into next week, I will go into my teenage years. That has a lot more different things going on there, and I also want to just warn you guys that next week will be about relationship abuse also. So it's going to take a little bit of a detour, but there also will be stuff about actually meeting my birth mom. So that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you a little bit understand, or if you're going through something similar, I just hope it helped you. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Please keep subscribing, keep sending me out to friends that you know, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much. Bye.